Hi there, my name's Dick Higley. I started jumping in 1972, a little drop zone in northern Indiana. Lived in Michigan most of my life till I was 30. Just moved back to Florida from California and touched bases with Rocky again. I've known Rocky since he started jumping, and known him and the Rainbow Flyers since they started. Drop zone in southern Michigan. Right after I started jumping in 1972, I got into the Paracommanders right away, right off student status, and then graduated after several hundred jumps or a couple hundred jumps to the ram air parachute. Got very interested in the reefing system on the ram air parachute. At the time, it was ropes and rings, and got tired of the ropes and rings destroying the top surface, or if it was bottom ropes and rings, the bottom surface of the parachute. So I had heard about a slider device that someone had come up with in Florida that contained the four line groups separately with a sail in between to slow the openings down. So I designed one of my own, put it on my Stratostar. Worked great, and everyone around where I was jumping, they wanted me to put it on their ram air. They put them on Stratostars, the parafoils, clouds, any ram air I was putting the slider on. It was working great. I took a little break from skydiving. I was in the bar business for about 3 years, but then got right back into it heavy again when I sold the bar business. And became involved with several parachute centers in Michigan and then down in Florida. I got involved with Kenny Coleman, who was one of the Rainbow Flyers and one of the originators of the AFF concept. He and Gary Dupuis. Gary Dupuis was the brainchild of it, and between he and Kenny, they came up with the 7 levels of learning, and I got involved with Kenny flying jumpers in his airplane, in and out of flying jumpers in his airplane. I would either deliver the airplane back to him or pick it up. We'd spend a night or two at his place, and we would stay up in the wee hours of the morning talking about the 7 levels of the AFF program, and coming up with different scenarios of what would happen, situations that might occur, how to best handle them to make the skydive as safe and learning to the student as possible. It definitely changed. It was one of the best things that ever happened to the sport of skydiving. There's hardly nobody teaches the static line system anymore because the AFF is so much safer and more proficient and a faster learning curve. So after getting talking with Kenny and Rocky, and in January of 1981, Rocky put me through a certification course, and I earned my AFF Instructor rating on the AFF program that Kenny Coleman and Gary Dupuis came up with. I was slated then to join Rocky and Kenny at Sandwich, Illinois, to run a certification program up there. When the balloon accident happened, the terrible accident happened the day before I was to meet them in Sandwich. Later that fall, as soon as Rocky was able to travel out of the hospital, I brought him back to Florida and delivered him to a place here in Florida where he continued recuperating. It was quite a trip. I had a Dodge van then with a bed in it, and he spent the whole trip in the bed with another friend of ours, Mark Leininger, and I brought him down to Florida. Soon after that, the USPA took the program over, and I attended the first AFF certification course that was being run by the USPA in Deland, Florida. But when I found out that I was going to have to go through the whole course and pay the full amount of money to become a certified AFF instructor, which I already was, I'd come down to offer my services to help the USPA with anything I could, any input I could make to it. But when I found out that I was going to have to go through all that, I declined. And soon after that, I got heavily involved with the Tandem program, where you give a student 15-20 minutes of training, attach him to your harness, and you take him up. You make a free fall skydive together. That was another real boon to the sport. It enabled a lot of people to skydive that ordinarily wouldn't be able to, handicapped people, but mainly people who wanted to experience the thrill of free fall skydiving, and most of them would go on then to do an AFF course and learn to skydive on their own. I took one of the first rigs that the Relative Workshop made. I took it and traveled all over the Midwest, in between, all the way out and all the way out to the West Coast, running certification courses, taking people on tandems, and selling rigs for the Relative Workshop. I did that for several years. Then I switched over and did the same thing for Strong Enterprises with their Tandem program. I've made about 8,300 skydives in my career. 5,900 of those are solo, and 2,300 or so were tandems. The sport of skydiving is, well, in my estimation, it's the best sport in the world. It's a dangerous sport that can be done safely. And people who realize this are the people who stay in the sport and without injuries or worse. It's a dangerous sport that can be done safely. I'm quoting a friend of mine out in California that I just read a quote that he had made. And that's about it. I'm not skydiving at the present. I'm on a fixed income now, and it's just too expensive. But over the years, I've flown over 7,000 hours of flying, and a lot of that was flying jumpers. Most of it was flying jumpers. And 2,400 tandems and 5,900 solo jumps. Been on some world record jumps. Watched the Rainbow Flyers from the start advance to winning, I think it was 4 national and 3 world titles. They were all a great group of brothers. Kenny Coleman was a horrible loss to the sport. But mainly I want to state that the original brainchild of AFF was Gary Dupuis and Kenny Coleman. They should get all the credit. Rocky Evans was in there, Hoot Gibson, Sam Brown. A lot of people contributed, but the brainchild was because of Gary Dupuis and Rocky Evans. And I guess that's about it. I guess this interview is over, unless Rocky has something to add. He's outside right now, but hey, Rocky. Well, when he gets back in, he might have something else to add. But thank you for this opportunity, and I forever promote the sport of skydiving. It's the best sport in the world. Thank you. Okay, Rocky. The black rhinoceros and the even bigger white rhino, as well as the seemingly orange rhinoceros from the swampy areas of northeast India and Nepal. see how it came out.